Welcome back to Besties in Folklore, the series where two besties chat about our current reads, both good and bad. Today we're talking about April reads, and we'll start off actually with our favorites. We've been doing this, and we're talking about our favorite treat, media, and item. Kim, do you want to start with your treat for the month?
Yeah, so I I feel like every time I've been doing like an actual treat. So last month I picked the sour watermelons, which I'm still doing, but my husband and I found a recipe for like a high protein cheesecake flavored yogurt. And so we've been making that and it's delicious. And Trader Joe's has what are called the tiniest chocolate chip cookies, and they're literally like bite size. They're like that big. And so we've been putting the tiniest chocolate chip cookies on top of this cheesecake yogurt for like a treat at bed. And it is
Yeah.
so good. And I feel like my husband is kind of picky on treats. So, it must be good if he was like, are you going to make more of the yogurt? So,
So wait, you're
um,
making yogurt? Or is it like flavoring you
no, I'm
add?
just using yogurt, but then it's like mixing in protein powder and like cheesecake pudding mix
Okay, I'm
and
like,
like,
is this like a homestead situation where you're
no,
making your
God.
own yogurt?
Oh gosh, no. No.
Okay.
No, it's not like a circa 2018 where people were using their instant pots to make yogurt at home. No, not that.
Okay.
But like zhuzhing up yogurt and
Okay.
like it gets thicker from the pudding. It's delicious. And the tiniest chocolate chip cookies are surprisingly good from Trader Joe's. So
Wow.
that has been our like food of the last couple weeks.
Do you remember that cereal Cookie Crisp?
Yes, it's like a smaller version of that. It's smaller than the Cookie Crisp ones.
That sounds good. I love that. Okay, mine is I found these almonds at Target. I mean, this is not groundbreaking, okay? But they're like these thin coated chocolate covered almonds,
Mm,
and they're so good just for like a little handful of something at the end of the day. Because a lot of times you'll get chocolate covered almonds and it's like the ratio of chocolate is like a lot of chocolate, which is fine sometimes, but this is kind of nice to like, you can taste more of the almond. So
yeah, I kind of want to try that. It sounds
yeah, and
delicious.
they're kind of like dusted with cocoa powder too.
Mm,
So I don't know, I like
like
them
a
a lot.
truffle almost.
Very simple, but
Yeah.
that's what I've been most excited about food wise, snack wise. Oh, and also like great to add. Sometimes I'll just take a bunch of random stuff in the pantry and make like a trail mix. Like,
Yeah.
so
Honestly, I'm like, that would be good in what I just said too. As a
yeah,
topper for this like cheesecake pudding yogurt
that's
stuff I've
true.
been making, it would be really good in that too. So,
True. Okay, next is media. I guess I'll start. Mine is just audiobooks, which also like is not groundbreaking, but I've been really getting more into audiobooks as you'll kind of see, like as I talk about what I've read. But it's been a way for me to get more reading in, like get more books done. So I've either just been listening to a book straight up, or been doing like a dual. Like if it's a book I already have, then I'll just keep going back and forth between listening and physically reading. So that's mine. Nothing crazy, but what's yours?
um, I am a true millennial with my media pick here. That we have been jamming in my house to Yippee Ki by Kesha for the entire month. Both of my girls love it. And so I feel like my millennial soul has been refreshed for summer by listening to this song. So
Yes.
that has been like our number one listen to. I feel like every month I've been picking songs because we listen to a lot of music and we don't watch a lot of television because we pretty much just watch Phillies baseball every night. Um, so I could pick Phillies, but like that would be every month until October. So uh,
Fair.
trying to pick different things here.
Awesome. Yeah, I haven't like totally followed the lore of Kesha, but like I'm happy for her that she's like getting to kind of get back into her like
Her roots,
yeah.
yeah. And
And
T Pain, I mean, I love T Pain. They have a sidebar, the sidebar of they have like a documentary about like music on Netflix, and there's a whole episode about T Pain and like the use of autotune and how like it impacted his whole life and his career. He's super interesting and he's so talented.
yeah.
So I'm glad he's like still having his moment.
Yeah, and I recently saw that like you kind of assume that T Pain can't sing because he's always using autotune, but
He's so good.
Yeah. So it's just like a stylistic choice. I feel like it wasn't necessarily because he couldn't like.
Yeah, it's if you watch the documentary, it's very interesting because it wasn't his choice either.
Mhm.
So it's there's a lot of nuances to this.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to watch
Yeah.
that. That sounds interesting. Next thing is item. Do you want to go ahead and
I am. Okay, I'm wearing it. I've been wearing crew neck hoodies for like a couple of months now. I feel like since the winter, but like this is the peak season. I live in Maryland. We're in like winter, spring, summer combination weather right now where it's like in the 40s in the morning, it's hot during the day, and then it's like cooler in the evening. So I can wear my crew neck hoodie in the morning. I can wear it with shorts. I can wear it whatever. So this is my Mickey Mouse one that I got in Disney in December, but I have sports ones too. That has been like my go-to item.
Yeah, there's something about a crew neck sweater. I don't know what it is, but
Yes.
I love it. So
I'm glad they
I
came back in trend, I feel like.
yeah.
So,
Okay, mine is like so weird. My choices this month were just kind of weird, but that's fine. Yesterday, to soothe my soul, I went to Home Goods and I just like perused the candles. Like that was my soothing moment of the day. Because life is crazy and sometimes you just need to go Home Goods and like smell all the candles and pick one and take it home and light it and just calm yourself. So I got one called Thunder. You'll never be able to find this. Like, it's not like I'm influencing it.
yeah.
I'm more influencing you to go to Home Goods and smell candles more than anything. But just like for informational purposes, just so you know, and have the peace of knowing which candle I chose. It's called Thunder. It smells like walking by Abercrombie and Fitch, and it's great. And I just light it.
What a vintage smell.
What?
I feel like it's a vintage smell. Like as soon as you say that, every person above the age of 30 is like, I know.
Yeah. It's like a musky kind of like a little bit of fruitiness, but like mostly
Yeah.
milky, kind of woodsy. I don't know.
Yeah, that memory of walking through the mall and
Yep.
smelling Abercrombie, smelling Hollister.
Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
my God, yes, I
They're
know
always,
exactly what you mean.
I feel like they're always like right next to each other too. Like,
Yes, for sure. You would walk by that section of the mall and just that's all you would smell for about 3 minutes as you walked through that strip.
yep, for sure. So that's mine. Um, and yeah, we'll go straight into we'll go straight into our one and only book that we read together. Kim was just roasting me before this.
Okay, so we should have had 4 books in common. Alex started 3 books that were the same and did not finish any of those 3. So we have 1 book in common and we could have had 4. But so now in May you'll have finished some of these books, but like
Yeah.
we could talk about them, but they won't have been like the same month
True.
timeline, but that's
Yeah.
fine.
Not necessarily a good read, but sorry. I dropped the ball, but I had my best month to date. So
You did.
I can't
You
apologize
did.
too much because I am really happy with how everything turned out, but I did have to abandon some things to make other things happen.
Well, and this the book we had the buddy read for, I think you abandoned some to get into this book. So
yeah, that's true.
yeah, because it was one of our most anticipated reads of the year.
Yeah.
Like we talked about this book for the whole time. So we're talking about Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I feel like this was the book that everybody dropped other things to read.
Yeah. Yep. When Emily Henry comes out with a book, you drop everything. That's just an unspoken rule. So
Yeah,
sorry, not sorry.
it's fine. You'll finish them eventually.
Yeah, I will. Okay, so let's talk about the book. Like, what were your thoughts? How did you feel?
I liked, not loved it.
Okay.
Which I feel like is more common on the internet. I thought I would be a little bit different in that, and I feel like I'm actually not. I wish that I felt like the romance felt more realistic to me, and it didn't. I think that the point of it wasn't the romance story, right? I don't think that was the plot of this book. And when I grapple with that, I feel okay about the book. But I think I read Emily Henry because I think her romances feel so realistic to me.
Yeah.
Every romance that she has feels like two people that I could know. I didn't quite get that vibe, but I loved the actual story of Margaret's life, the Iveses, that whole like storyline. I really, really enjoyed, but the romance felt a little bit of a miss for me.
Yeah, I heard someone say, like, before we even read the book, I heard someone say, if you don't love insta love, this might not be the book for you. I don't know that I would go as far as saying it was insta love, but it was pretty close to that. I mean,
Yeah,
it was very, like, they had 3 conversations and already, like, were really, like, into each other. Like, I don't know. So yeah, I will agree with you there. I think I maybe liked it more than you. I liked that it was something different. I always appreciate that. And I don't feel like she sacrificed quality to achieve that, which I appreciated. Somebody told me that we weren't 100% sure. So if I'm wrong, correct me, or anyone maybe could comment and correct me. But I think Emily Henry used to write more of this kind of mystery-ish,
yeah.
like
So I've heard that
YA.
too. That yeah. So she wrote like YA kind of mystery books.
Hmm.
From friends of mine who have read some of her YA stuff. It's polarizing. Like I have a friend who likes Emily Henry who said I did not like her YA books. I have a friend who likes Emily Henry who said I did love them. And so it doesn't surprise me this was a little bit more polarizing if it was similar to what her YA stuff was.
Yeah. So yeah, it seemed like she's maybe trying to revisit that like vibe that she had originally, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm here for a queen like trying different things and like doing other stuff. I don't think like the Ives' storyline was a miss for me, and I
yeah,
don't think I would not recommend this book. But
yeah.
I don't think I would recommend this book for somebody who said, "What's a great romance
Oh
book
yeah.
you read recently?"
No, I
Like this
completely
would
agree.
not be my recommendation at all for that.
Yeah. It reminded me a lot of Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I've told you this already, but it was a very similar vibe. I think you like Margaret more um, than Evelyn Hugo, but Evelyn Hugo is a little bit more like Devil Wears Prada y, like where you're
Okay.
kind of like not liking her that much, but like finding her story interesting. And I feel like Margaret was a little more endearing. Like you kind of connected with her a little bit more and realized like why she made some of the decisions that she made and why she is the way she is a little bit. Like was a little bit more, I don't know, relatable in a sense. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think you rated it like 4.75.
Yeah, 7.5. Yeah, it was just under. Like I couldn't. I to be honest with you, I gave it 5 when I finished, and
Yeah.
I sat on it and changed my rating because I it just a 5-star book to me gives me all the feels. I have other books I read this month that gave me absolutely all the feels that I like have been thinking about. This book I haven't thought back to.
Yeah. Um, I think I'm gonna give it a 5 just because I thought it was a fantastic book. Um, and I don't necessarily think it was like perfect, but sometimes part of my rating goes into like the experience and like same with like Onyx Storm. I gave Onyx Storm a 5 star also because it like just was like this exciting piece of like part of my life.
Yeah.
Like I feel like this kind of had the same energy where it's like I was so excited to read it and I just love Emily Henry and so it's just kind of like not an automatic 5 star, but like if it's good and it's almost there, that'll push it.
You would have to do a lot to mess up for you to
Yeah,
not like want to give in to that vibe energy.
exactly.
Yeah, I definitely think both of us maybe overrated Onyx Storm a little bit, and I think this might be
Mhm.
a similar
Yeah.
vein. Like I think I still might have, for me, even overrated this book with my rating. So
Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, well, that was, I mean, if we were going to read one book, that was a good one to read together,
yeah, for
right?
sure,
So,
for sure.
um, okay, so I think I'll go now, right? So,
Yeah,
like I said, I had my best month to date, I think probably ever. And, I did 9 books. Um, a lot of these were audio or like dual media. I don't know how you'd phrase that. I think people call it immersive reading, but I was unclear if immersive reading is like listening and reading at the same exact time.
I think that is listening and reading at the same time. And you
Okay.
didn't quite do that, right? You kind of
No,
alternated.
I don't think I
Yeah.
could do that. I think that would drive me nuts.
Yeah.
but but yeah, so it's separate times. But I did use two different types of media to read some of these. Maybe all of them. Let me look. Honestly, I think every book I read, I at least listened to some audio. And I think that's how I was able to get through so much, because I could multitask and listen
Yeah.
and do other things. Um, so the first book I read was Flatshare by Beth O'Leary. I really loved this book. It's a book that I bought on our last trip that we went on together in Washington, D.C. And it's a book that I had on my Amazon wish list for a really long time. The premise is that it's these two people, a guy and a girl, who live in the same apartment but are never there at the same time. Like their whole like agreement is based upon like he works in the like overnight shift, and so they just basically don't ever see each other. And he actually has a girlfriend who, like, that's one of her like stipulations, that they don't see each other, because otherwise that would be weird. But they're like sleeping, it's like a one bed, but they're not in the bed at the same time, so it's kind of interesting. I really loved it. I also listened to it, so I liked all of the audiobooks I listened to. I would recommend, so it was a great one. The next one was also a TBR one of mine that's been sitting on my shelf. It's called Daughter of the Pirate King by Tricia Levenseller. And this was like a YA fantasy pirate, like a sea ship. I'm just gonna say
a little outside your normal. We do fantasy, but like it was a little something different for you.
Yeah. Although in that vein, it was very similar to a book that I just read a couple months ago called Fable by Adrienne Young. And very, very similar vibes. So if you liked Fable, this one was good. But I had just read Fable, and I'm like, it wasn't earth-shattering to me, but it was a good read. Like, it was a good time. I think I maybe gave it like a 4-star, 3.75, something like that. Like, if that's your thing, it's great. If you're wanting to try something like that, it's great. Yeah, so that was good. I next read The Spell Drop, which is another TBR one of mine. A beautiful, beautiful book. I think I have it up there somewhere, but
and you did that as one of your favorite book Fridays, right?
I did. I really loved
yeah,
the book.
So if you really want to hear a lot about it, Alex did a whole video on our Instagram, so go check that out.
So I won't go into details of what it's about, but just know it's like a cozy fantasy vibe, and the setting and the characters are immaculate and great. So I really enjoyed this. I think I'm going to pick it as a book club, like a pick for my book club, because I think it would be a really cute one to have a night based around. Like lots of like foods are mentioned, and like it's about like a jam shop, and like I don't know, it seems like a very quaint night that we'll have if I do that one. So I think that's going to be my choice for my fantasy book club that I'm a part of. And that's by Sarah Beth Durst. The next one I read was Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I read this on audio. I was able to snag it on Cloud Library, or I don't know, one of the library apps. And it was really great. I mean, it was everything you want in an Abby Jimenez book. She's hilarious and kind of off the wall. Her like humor is just that, off the wall. Like,
Yeah.
like what possessed you? Like the first chapter of the book is he's a vet, and she has this new cat that she's acquired, and the cat doesn't have a butthole. Like that's their first interaction, is him telling her that her cat doesn't have a butthole.
Oh my god.
And so that's like just, I mean, and you remember the Toilet King, like in
Yeah.
that one.
I just read a Abby Jimenez book in May, so it's not going to be talked about today. But yes, I am Yes, her humor is definitely interesting. The book I just read, the main female character makes dog stairs for little dogs. And that's like a huge plot point in the book is that she like has a website where she sells dog clothes and dog
Oh my
stairs.
gosh.
So
Abby Jimenez
yeah,
must be a huge animal like lover.
she has to be because every pretty much joke we've just mentioned, all is animal themed.
Yeah.
But
It's too funny. So yeah, it was wonderful. It was everything I was hoping for in that book. It was pretty emotional, so just a warning for that. But it was great. And the audio was good. I strictly listened to the audio on that one, and it was great. The next one was another TBR, one that's been on my TBR shelf, and it's called The Measure. This was kind of something different for me. Um, it was kind of dystopian, very like thought provoking. Um, not it wasn't really fantasy. It was more dystopian because it's about like our world. So it's just like average world, but all of a sudden everyone starts getting a box. If you're already, I think it's 22. If you're already 22, everybody got a box that has a string in it that's like supposed to be the measure of your life. So it's how long your life is going to be. And then everyone from that point on, when you turn 22, you get this box, and you can't destroy it. Um, you don't have to look at it, but like it's always going to be there to like look at, to like tempt you. And so it's basically just like how society would um, adjust to this. Like, how would the military run if they knew how, are you going to send someone into combat
yeah.
that is going to die soon? Like, does that mean they're not going to do well at their, it's just like all these things that, oh yeah, those things would change. Like, would hospitals take you if they knew you were going to die? Just things that you would never think about, that were just really interesting to think about. So this was like, I had to read, let me see. I feel like well, never mind. I was going to say, I think I had to read something fluffy after this, but you'll hear what I read.
You did not.
But that's kind of how you feel at the end. Like, wow, that was like kind of heavy, and like you probably read something fluffy after. But it was good. I mean, I didn't read a single bad book this month, which feels really good. The next one I read, everybody was talking about Sunrise on the Reaping. The vibes were there, the FOMO was there, and so I started reading The Hunger Games, which I had never read. I obviously have seen the movies. I actually watched the first 3 movies and didn't watch the last one, which I'm kind of grateful for, but I did that earlier this year. So I don't really remember how it ends, so that's keeping it kind of interesting. Because I read the last.
You are for sure a FOMO reader. Like if people are talking about a book,
100%.
you will read it. You will prioritize reading it if there's hype around it. You do not want to miss out.
I mean, just hearing, like 3 of mine. Well, no, 2 of mine were releases that had just come out. Abby Jimenez and Emily Henry. Could not wait on those. Like, I didn't really have a plan to read Abby Jimenez like in real time, but I just couldn't help myself. And same with this. I'm like, I have to be part of the buzz. I don't know, even if it's not like that great. I don't know. I get FOMO really easily. So, yeah, I've been listening to these. I think they redid the audiobooks within the last, since the movies, I guess. So, they're great, and I listened to Hunger Games in one day.
Yeah, you flew through that.
Yeah, and then I did get an arc for the audio of Big Dumb Eyes by Nate Bargatze, and this was exactly what it was advertised as, which is like just a simple like stories from his life, and like it was nothing earth shattering. Like I'm not going to be like shouting from the rooftops for people to read this, but it was just like an easy listen, and like he's a funny guy. And that actually was good to read after The Measure, because it was just like him kind of being silly and like some little life lessons thrown in there, but nothing too like thought-provoking necessarily.
I'm not a big comedy person, and I actually enjoy his comedy, so I think that's something. He's like one of the only comedians I'll like regularly watch.
Yeah.
So
He's just,
If people haven't checked him out, his stuff's on Netflix, so it's pretty easily accessible to find some of his stuff.
yeah, he just seemed like a cool guy. Like,
Yeah.
so I had heard some of his like stand up, and I was intrigued. I knew that would be an easy audio listen for me, and I knew that I liked his voice and like his humor, and so
Yeah.
I just kind of picked that one up. That one, the book is out, but the audio book comes out May 6th, and I would recommend the audio because it's like listening to his set. You know, it's like listening to a comedian. It is listening to a
Yeah.
comedian.
Yeah.
Not like that. It is that. The next one was Great Big Beautiful Life, which I won't go into more because we already talked about it. And then my last one was Catching Fire. And that was my month. It was a great month. And I'm hoping to like keep up reading that, and like at least like I think my goal will be 10 books for May. I'm hoping.
Yay.
And audiobooks are like really coming in clutch for trying to get stuff read, which is really nice. But my TBR shelf is overflowing, so I still am gonna try and get through some more of those. But we'll see, because I am a FOMO reader. So
I know. And we'll talk later in this video, but there's a lot of good releases coming out in May. And so I have a few that I know are going to be priority books for me to read in May. So
yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah. All right, give us yours, Kim.
All right. I had actually a really good month too. I started my month reading Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. So this is the like second book to Out on a Limb. So it's the same world, different characters.
I was just gonna like say, isn't it Out on a Limb?
Yeah, so it's the same world. So
Okay.
she does this with all her books where like the titles are overlapping, so you know that they all kind of connect together, which I think is cute. So this is honestly very similar vibes to me of Left of Forever, which we talked about that we read in March. And it's a couple, they don't have children though, but they're feeling disconnected from each other. They're feeling like they got married really young at about 20, and they're struggling to find their footing now in their early 30s. So they're still married, but they're just feeling disconnected. And so they go on a retreat to the woods. So it's about their relationship, how they kind of learn about each other at this new era of their life. I thought it was great. It was a really entertaining read. I really like her writing. I think her writing is it's very well written. It's enjoyable to read. So that was great. That came out in January, and I had it on hold on Libby since January, and it just came off hold for me the beginning of April. So you can see how popular that book is if it took that long to get off holds.
Yep.
So I did Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams on audiobook. I've read a couple of Sarah Adams books. I've read another book in this world of Rome, Kentucky, where this book is. Being honest, I don't love her writing. It's fine. This was a good audiobook I work hybrid. So when I go into work, I have a pretty long commute. And so it's not bad to have a book. It was good. It's not like it was my lowest rated book of the month.
It wasn't earth-shattering, but it was.
Yeah, it was fine. Yeah, and honestly, I felt that way about every Sarah Adams book I've read. It's just, they're fine. They're fine. So last month I talked about that I had read 2 of Julie Soto's fanfics and was planning on reading the third. So I read The Auction, which is actually written by Julie Soto, but it doesn't say Julie Soto on the title because it's fanfic. She has like her name. She is publishing this traditionally as Rose in Chains and comes out in July. It's very long. It's Hermione fanfiction. It was incredible. It was so well done. I have a feeling I'm going to just love Rose in Chains because I loved every second of this story. It was so good, but it was really long. It took me a long time to get through. I think this, for me, took me over a week because it was just a hefty read. It was about 800 pages, so it was really long, but so worth it, so good. Absolutely loved it. And so while I was reading the auction, all these advanced reader copies for me came off of NetGalley. So I ended up reading 4. So shout out to NetGalley. Shout out to Avon, because 3 of the books were from Avon this month. So I don't know. They must have loved me. I must have been gifted to get some of these books from them. It was just really funny. I went to look and I was like, oh, 3 of the books were from Avon this month. So one of my anticipated reads of the year was Good Spirits by B.K. Borison. We love B.K. Borison. We talk about her on this page. And so I got Good Spirits and literally screamed when I got the email that I got Good Spirits. Scared my whole family.
Yeah.
Yes, scared my entire family because I screamed and they thought something was wrong. No, I was just excited. And it was so good. Alex, I know you're going to love it because it is that like cozy fantasy. It's that real life with a magical element. Her characters are so good. It was so good. It was so cozy. It was so good. I loved it.
I'm excited for that one.
Yes. So that comes out on October 21st. So I'll probably post it on our Instagram when it gets closer because it's pretty far away. It's going to be great fall vibes. Honestly, great fall vibes. It's Christmassy. He's the ghost of Christmas past. So it's going to be that perfect like November, December. You're going to be curled up in front of the fire reading Good Spirits.
Yes, I love it.
So some of the books that we started to overlap on, I read this. I actually did this book really quickly and then recommended it to Alex. Is She Really Going Out with Him by Sophie Cousins.
I have
it was so cute.
That one is still in my cloud library, like current.
Hopefully you finish it soon. It was so cute. I had seen it floating on the internet as like a great summer read because it's just light. It's so hilarious. And it lived up to that expectation for me. If you're looking for like a good beach read, I think this would fit the bill. It's about a mom who goes through a divorce, and then for her work, she's a writer for a newspaper, for like a magazine. And for her work, she has her children select her dates, and then she writes about the dates that she goes on. So they pick people in real life that she knows, like the mailman and the parent of a friend of theirs and things like that. All while she's working with a colleague who she's competing with, kind of, and they're writing parallel articles.
Kind of like First Time Caller adjacent, like
similar, yeah, like a similar vibe. But she's really funny, very, very funny. All these dates are hilarious. Like things happen that you're like, this is insane, but it's so good, so cute. I feel like I actually read a lot of just like cute books this month, but and then I read, which is another book that Alex has and has not really started. His Last Night Was Fun by Hallie Michelle. So this is about 2 data analysts for a baseball team, and they're competing over the same job. And the female main character also gets a random text message from somebody she doesn't know that said, last night was fun. It wasn't to her, but they start a texting relationship and they get to know each other via text message.
I think I'm going to love that one. I read the first like 8 pages or something, and then something happened, one of these books that I had to run to, it got on the back burner. But I was really enjoying those first 8 pages.
Yeah,
because
it's so cute.
I'm a big like notes to each other person.
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to like equate to that, like
100%, because it's just they show the texting back and forth throughout the whole book, so you're getting to kind of see their relationship. It was so cute. That comes out actually in June, so that comes out on June 10th, so not too long away compared to some of the other ones I've read, but also another really cute like summer book. I just felt like it's baseball, like it's baseball season. It had good vibes. Definitely recommend checking it out when it comes out. So I would say the next book is like one of my favorite books I read the whole month, and I cannot stop thinking about this book. And I thought I was going to be like, it was good. It was incredible. So this book was The Best Worst Thing by Lauren Oakey. This comes out in October 14th, and I got this off NetGalley from Avon. So one of those books that I was like, oh, this will be good. It was so good. This book has me thinking about it still, and I finished it 2 weeks ago, and I can't stop thinking about how good this book was.
That's how you
It's
know.
about a woman who's going through fertility. So if that is a trigger for you, this is probably not the book for you. But she's going through fertility and finds out after like 3 or 4 years of doing fertility, getting a surrogate, that her husband has been having an affair for a really long time.
Oh, wow.
And so she reconnects with a colleague. She like quit her job to go through IVF, like all these things. Her life is like turned upside down. It's very serious. Like the last couple, I was like, they were cute and funny. This was not cute and funny.
Yeah.
It was cute, but it wasn't funny.
Yeah.
It's very serious. She's working through a lot of emotional trauma. But it's lingered with me. Like I can't stop thinking about it. So this comes out on October 14th. Can't recommend it enough. Absolutely. So good. So good.
Yeah.
All right, I have a couple more. I read 11 books this month, which is less than I have been. So I could be talking about books for like another half an hour, but I read So Many Somethings by Molly Dunn that I also got off NetGalley. That comes out the end of October. It was cute. It was about a similar, actually, last night was fun, and So Many Somethings are similar. It's about two people who form a relationship on a site for fan fiction, and the female main character writes fan fiction, and they form this like email messaging relationship, but also happen to know each other in real life, but they don't know they know each other in real life. He's famous. Her family owns a restaurant. So interesting dynamics. It was cute, but not the best book I read this month, but it was still cute.
Yeah.
And then I read Empty Net by Tegan Hunter, which is in a series of hockey romance books. I talked about that I read them all, I think, in February. So this one just came out this month, so it was on my like quick read list. Loved it. Very cute. Enjoyable read. And then my best book of the month, I waited till the last one, was Legendborn by Tracy Diorn. I flew through this book. Alex and I were supposed to buddy read it, and I finished it in like 2.5 days because I couldn't put it down. I loved it so much. It's in my top 3 books I read this year. Oh.
Yeah, and I apologize
so
that
good.
we can't talk more about it because
I know.
I think I just hit like 25%. So I'm enjoying it, but it is a book that I cannot rush through. Like I can tell that
Yeah.
much, and so I'm really trying to like it's one that I have to put my headphones in and listen to my reading music and just like focus because
For sure.
there's a lot of terminology and there's a lot of different types of magic and creatures and levels of whatever.
Yeah.
And
And
so
there's actually even more than you know.
yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot more. So it's fantasy, but it's kind of an interesting fantasy story. There isn't much out there like this because I consider
yeah,
it to be like more heavy fantasy, but it takes place in the real world. So she's an early college student her name's Bree. So Bree is an early college student at UNC Chapel Hill. And then there's this whole element of fantasy in what is her real world, but it's not like some of the cozy fantasies we talked about in here where it's like, oh, there's a little bit of magic. Like that's not what this is. Like it's heavy duty fantasy with demons and mediums and all these types of magical elements.
yeah.
But she like lives in North Carolina, just like a normal person.
I feel like we're really used to like romantasy, which is like feels like more digestible fantasy, and this feels like full on fantasy. I keep
Yeah.
thinking like my brother would probably love this book because he's been into fantasy before I even like had a thought to read anything fantasy. And he's very intelligent. Like he would be able to pick up all these things where I'm just like, okay, wait, this is like, I'm like trying to write down or
Yeah.
remember things because it's like so intricate. Um, so yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm excited for the when I get to the point maybe in the second book where like I'm feeling familiar with everything and
It will be the end of this book.
okay.
There's a whole saga for like the last 25% of the book that I think you'll be like, okay, now I'm really like I felt like I was solid in the world at that moment because something
I
happens.
wish like someone could make like a reading guide or something because I always want to look up a like a glossary of terms or something, but I'm so afraid that I'm going to find something a
You would
spoiler.
spoil
Yeah.
something big for
So
you because
someone
there
needs
was
to
a moment.
yeah, someone needs to like come up with something that you can like read alongside to like help
Yeah,
you like
I know.
but
Um, but it's so good. The other thing I want to add, just so people are aware of it, is there is a lot of discussion of racism and
yeah.
like prior racism, and that is a big plot point in this book. So if that's something that is triggering for you, this may not be the book for you. And I would say that's different than a lot of other fantasies because that's actually real. It talks about slavery in this. It talks about there are some more serious related racism topics later on in the book. So I don't want to give it away for Alex, but um, it's it is real. Like I think that is probably something that was real at UNC Chapel Hill specifically and in that area. Um, but man, this book was so well done. She's an excellent writer. I was a little bit nervous because it's YA and it's not romance forward that I would be a little bit deterred. There is a hint of romance, so it's not off the table, but it is YA romance for sure.
Yeah.
Um, and it's changing as I'm going through the book. I started the second book already. I'm about 15% into it, but um, yeah, I can't say enough good things. I feel like this was a book that you and I wanted to read because of the hype around Oathbound
Yeah.
being released
Yeah.
in, I think, March. And we were talking about how everyone all of a sudden was talking about this book, and I can totally see why.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to keep reading the series.
Yeah. And I think that's how you know it's good is if it's not like your like niche genre that you like and
Yeah.
you're still like obsessed with it. That's like a really
Yeah.
good sign that it's actually like really, really good. So
Yes.
I'm excited to keep chugging along, but it's gonna take me a minute. And like the fact that you went through it so fast, it's like the comparison of like how quick you read it to how long. It's like making it seem even more dramatic. Um, but yeah, I'm hoping this weekend. My husband's out of town, so I'm hoping that I'll have a lot of like alone time.
Reading time.
Yeah,
Yeah, to focus on this book.
yeah. So I'm hoping to just get through it by the end of the weekend. Not get through it. I'm gonna enjoy it, but I'm just saying like I want
Yes, actually get towards the
yeah.
end. Yeah.
Did you have any more or is that was your
No,
okay.
that was it. That was the last book I read in April. So
Okay, awesome. Um okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. We're starting to do something new where I'm gonna give the tea, like the book tea for the month of April, and then Kim's gonna um, give us upcoming like things to look forward to in May. So let me get my list out. But something the probably the biggest thing. I'll start out with the biggest thing that happened is that Sarah J. Maas signed a giant ACOTAR book. I don't know if they have these like in random places. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have no idea. So I'm really
Oh,
interested. So keep
oh
going.
okay, this is
I'm
exciting.
reading this tea too. So tell me.
There's a
Come on.
giant. It's like just looks like a giant ACOTAR, like A Court of Thorns and Roses. It's a giant book. It's like a
Okay.
kind of like you go and take a picture of it. Sarah
Yeah.
Maas signed the inside of it, I think secretly, and it said, "I, I'm not. I'm a. I was a wolf. I should look this up so I'm not quoting it wrong. I was a wolf, so I bit when cornered or something like that. And so people are like, what does that mean? They're thinking it's got to be about Tamlin, right? And everyone's convinced that a Tamlin redemption arc is coming. And the weird thing is everybody was on edge yesterday because it was May 1st, which is Callan May.
Yeah.
And everyone was on pins and needles waiting for her to announce another book, but as far as I could see, nothing was announced.
Nope.
I think we would have heard if something was announced. So
yeah,
that kind of fell flat, and maybe it's still something, and it's coming because that was really random. I'll have to put a picture of what it actually said.
Yeah. I did see that they released the new ACOTAR covers, and I think they're horrible.
Is that the black one, or is there a new
The black ones?
Yeah.
They're not cute.
They all look the same. Like
they're just dumb looking.
Just
I don't like it. I'm not a fan.
People are up in arms about that. Like, why would we want that? Like, why would we want to spend? Anyone who's buying those is buying a second or third or whatever.
Yeah. Why do you want that as a second set?
Next thing is that we had St. George's Day, which was like the day of books and roses. I don't know if anyone saw that. I did not receive a book or a rose.
I did not either, and now I feel gypped on this because I love roses and I love books, so it feels like that should have been my day.
So if our husbands are watching, you failed. Write it down, April 23rd for next year. And then 3 days later, April 26th was World Indie Bookstore Day.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was the day after, but you...
Yeah, I went the day after, but I did share. We went to an indie bookstore in Baltimore. My whole family went. We had a great experience. I've been to this bookstore before. I went to a free event there in the fall for B.K. Borson and Hannah Bonham Young. So I did not do it on the same day because Saturdays are crazy for us. My daughter has softball, but we made it there on Sunday and it was great. And we bought a bunch of books. So
yeah, and it sounds like that's a big day for indie book. Like our bookstore in town here, Poppy Books, shout out. They posted that they had it's always their busiest day of the year, and I think it being on a Saturday was really good for that.
Yeah, ours is Greedy Reads in Baltimore. They have 2 locations, and I heard they were also hopping, so they posted some pictures.
So maybe good that you went the day after.
Yeah, probably.
Crazy. So yeah, that was just a fun side note.
Yeah.
And Verity Wrapped, the filming for Verity Wrapped, that's coming out May 15th of 2026. Has Anne Hathaway as Verity. I'm looking forward to that. I read the book. I'm trying to get Kim to read it. I know it's Colleen Hoover, and everyone is up in arms about her. But I feel like it's one of those reads that you just have to experience, good or bad. You just have to experience it. So I'm hoping.
Yeah, I said maybe 2024 and I didn't. So maybe it'll be before. Maybe it'll be early 2026 before the movie comes out. I don't know.
You have 1 year, okay? And just remember, I made you read Gothicana. It's not that bad, but it's a similar vibe where you're reading it for
So I have to be in a mental place and have read enough books that I'm not mad that I wasted my time on this book.
Yes. And it's not wasting your time. It's entertainment, okay? It's just not going to be
The premise here for people that don't know is I have not ever read a Colleen Hoover book and I'm really not planning to read a Colleen Hoover book. But
I feel like it's going to happen. All right, listen, it's an experience you have to have. You have to check it off your bucket list, okay? Your bingo, your book bingo card.
We'll see.
I'll do Tessa Bailey and you do Colleen Hoover, okay? How does that sound? Okay, what else do we have? We have Liz Tomford announced a new spin-off standalone from a character from Caught Up, which this is not a world I'm super familiar with, but I know.
Yes, I'm so excited. Yeah, her newest book comes out in May, so I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But
okay,
yeah, I just had a friend tell me that she didn't like Mile High and loved the rest of the series. Okay. So, I went to happy hour with a friend this week, and she was like, "I did not like Mile High, and I didn't think it was going to be good, and you told me to keep reading." And she's like, "It was very, very good." She's like, way better.
Maybe I should just skip Mile High then.
Yeah, you don't need it. You don't need it.
And I read half of it, so I have like the base of
Who
the
the characters
storyline.
are. Yeah.
But, we got a cover reveal for Thorns and Roses by Helen Schurer.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, so we posted about that. Kim got us like early access to be able to post about
Yeah.
it, which is really really cool. And obviously, like we're the biggest Helen fans ever, and so we're really excited about that. Um, so yeah, that's the news on that one. Callie Hart started writing book 3 in the Quicksilver series. What's the series called? Is it just Quicksilver?
Um, Fire and Iron. I don't know. It has a name. I
Well,
don't know what it's
if
called,
we
but
say Quicksilver, everyone.
Quicksilver and then Brimstone is book 2.
Yeah. So I don't think we have a title, but
No, she hasn't released anything other than that she started it.
okay. So we just know
Yeah.
she's starting it. That's exciting.
And that's the last one. I think it's supposed to be a trilogy.
Okay.
So I think that should be the last one in the series.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
that's exciting. I did have that Julie Soto is coming out with a thriller, which you talked about on our last.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about that on our May releases because it comes out next week. So
okay.
Yep.
So we'll put a pin in that for a second. But the reason I said it was newsworthy is because it's a genre that she's not written.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yep.
And then I'm sure most people know, but HBO is doing a new Harry Potter series, and they revealed 6 characters, and they're like who's playing them. So that's been kind of controversial. I know Snape's casting has been kind of controversial.
Yeah.
Kind of like a hot black actor is playing Snape, and people are kind of like, that's not at all like. People are kind of worried that it's
because Alan Rickman sticks in your head, right?
Yeah. But also, I think people are concerned that people judge Snape like based off the fact that he kind of looks creepy and kind of looks like a weirdo. So people are worried that that's going to come off as racially like driven.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So we'll see. I hope that they know what they're doing.
There's already so much drama around J.K. Rowling and her thoughts on transgendered people that I feel like. Yeah. It was destined to have continued drama throughout this whole process just because of who she is. But yeah, we'll see how that all plays out.
What else do I have? That might be it. The only thing I have, which is kind of random, is I have Poppy War ? I've seen everybody reading this book called Poppy War.
Yeah, I have too.
So
the first person I saw, I'm going to give a shout out to, was That Girl Reads, Jamie. On her Instagram, she posted that I had like not really heard about it. I saw her post that she was reading it, and then now I've seen it like 20 times.
Yeah. Yeah, so nothing really like concrete to talk about, just that everyone's reading it. And so
yeah, that seems like the book right now.
Yeah, kind of a hot read right now. So maybe
I guess we should look into it.
Yeah, we'll have to add that to our very long list of books that we
so long. So long.
But yeah, other than that, that's all I've got.
Yay! Okay, so that leads into some good books that are coming out in May. Some of these are books we've read and we've already shared or talked about on our page. Some of them are just authors that we already have read or know about. And some of them are like books that we have wanted to read by authors and they're coming out with new ones. So variety here. So yes, Julie Soto's The Thrashers. It's a YA thriller. I did a whole video on this and I just shared it and she reshared my video on her Instagram page. But so good. Cannot say enough good things. Everybody needs to go pick this book up as soon as it comes out on May 6th. So it comes out very, very soon. For us, it's in a couple days. Also, One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune comes out. Alex and I have both read Carly Fortune and I think are fine about her, but I know that people really love her and people are really excited about this book. What?
Yeah, she's got a formula. I feel like it's kind of like Nicholas Sparks. Like it's just one of those authors that they just have a formula, and if you love that, great. But like we might not necessarily be into reading like multiple
the same, over and over again. But I know people are really hype about it, so that also comes out May 6th. And then on May 13th. A Curse Carved into Bone by Danielle L. Jensen. So this is the sequel to A Fate Inked in Blood. Neither one of us have read that, but I know that's on our TBR. We both have
Yeah.
talked about that book for a while, wanting to read it. We both have been wanting to read some Danielle Jensen in general because she writes The Bridge Kingdom as well. And so her newest book comes out May 13th. And then this book is on, I already have this book on Libby Holtz, is Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. So this is number 3 in the Skyland series. And it's, the other 2 are so good. They're each about a friend in a group of 3 friends. I've talked about Kennedy Ryan and my love for her other books on this page, but the 3rd one comes out. This one's gonna be a little bit different, I think, and I'm excited for it. So I already have it on hold.
Nice.
May 20th is like the day of books this month. So if you are like planning that you're going to want some, everything comes on May 20th. So we have Not Safe for Work by Nisha J. Tooley comes out. We read it, recommended it. You can go check out our video on our Instagram for that. And Left Up Forever by Tara DeWitt also comes out May 20th. Both of those we have individual videos to talk about. Then we read our copies of those and really liked both. Left Up Forever for both of us was like a very highly rated read. So Rewind It Back by Liz Tomford comes out. This is the 5th book in that series. It's Rio's book. She's been hyping this. I'm really excited for the story. It's like childhood friends reconnecting. I think it's going to be really cute. So I'm excited. What else comes out May 20th? The Love Haters by Catherine Center. I've never read a book by Catherine Center. Maybe you have. The Bodyguard, I think, is her most famous book.
Which one?
The Bodyguard.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't think I've read her, but I've definitely seen her a lot.
Yeah, she's pretty popular. So her new book comes out May 20th. And then The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig comes out. So Rachel Gillig wrote One Dark Window. Alex and I have some feelings. We started and did not finish One Dark Window about a year ago, but I know it has
People
like
love it. Yeah,
it has a cult following that the duology does. So we said at some point we might go back, but I think people are really hyping this new book because they love that series so much. So I've seen a lot already about this book coming out. So that also comes out May 20th. So The Night and the Moth. And then May 27th has probably my favorite book that I'm excited for in the month is Problematic Summer Romance by Allie Hazelwood. Somehow we get a gift of multiple Allie Hazelwood books in a year, which I feel like authors never do that. They might do maybe 2 in a year. Like Emily Henry only does 1 a year, right?
Yeah.
Allie Hazelwood already released Deep End, which I raved about on here for February. Yeah. Problematic Summer Romance is characters from her Not in Love book, which I loved. Read it last year when it came out, loved it. Cannot wait for this book. She also has Mate coming out in the fall, so this is the year of Allie Hazelwood, I think. Yeah, that comes out the 27th, and then last month I talked about the DC Stars hockey books, and I had talked about that it was like one of the best hockey series I've ever read. It's by Chelsea Curto, and the next book in that series comes out May 27th too. It's Hat Trick. It's going to be really cute. The characters are 2 characters I already know from the other books. And there's already like a basis of a relationship there. So I'm really excited to read that. That is going to be, those 2 on May 27th for me are going to be like start immediately because I'm excited about both of them. So, there's dozens of other books coming out in May, but these were books that we kind of either knew the authors, have talked about the authors, or that we've read ourselves. So I know a lot of these are us recommended books for you to read when they come out.
Yeah, that's exciting. It was a good month, and there's a lot to look forward to.
Yes, so many good releases in May to look forward to. So many other good books coming out. So, and other things we haven't quite read that we'll keep getting that on our TBRs here.
I know. I always say, like, there's too many books and too little time because there's just so much good stuff out there, and even bad stuff that I still want to read.
Yes.
I don't know if anyone can relate to that, but that's not, like, I
Yes.
am the FOMO reader. It's like, even if people are like, this is so bad, I'm like, I gotta know why. Like, I gotta experience that. I don't know. So maybe someday I'll be a faster reader, but you know, the audiobooks are helping a lot. So I'm gonna keep going with that strategy. But anyway, thanks for watching. This is probably gonna be a little bit of a longer one, but we thought it'd be
Yeah.
fun to kind of add some like interesting things that are going on, some buzz and stuff. So hopefully that was like interesting to hear, and we'll continue doing it in the future.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.